This is Observer AM, Darren Matthew Ward in your company, and the lifestyle inspired by financial empowerment or LIFE conference and the FIN FêTE, hosted by Samuel Fields Consulting Group, will bring together local, regional, and international attendees. The keynote speaker will be US-based Antiguan Mac Gardner, the CEO of FIN Tech. I hope I have that pronunciation correct, but my guest will correct me. I have it right? Yeah. All right. Certified financial planner and well sought after auditor. The conference will focus. The conference will focus on how to achieve financial empowerment by creating a sound and sustainable financial future and meeting current and future financial obligations to attain desired lifestyle choices. We're going to expand on all of that bit of a mouthful that tripped me up a little bit with our guest, the CEO of Samuel Fields Consulting, who is a certified public accountant and also an attorney at law, Megan Samuel Fields, who's, I think, safe to say a regular guest on Observer AM, co-host. She's correcting me. And we have a guest, she's laughing. We have a guest on the Zoom platform, and he goes by the name Dyalekt. And I kid you not, that's his, well, at least for the purposes of our conversation this morning. So I just want to say good morning, Dyalekt. Welcome to Observer AM, and good morning, Mrs. Megan Samuel Fields.
Good morning, Darren, and good morning to your listeners.
All right, thank you so much for joining me this morning. Well, let us start with, what inspired this Lifestyle Inspired by Financial Empowerment conference?
Okay, so you would be aware, and I believe a lot of your listeners would be aware, that for the last year or so, we have been having various webinars, sessions on financial literacy, financial wellness. What do we need to do in order to get onto the path of financial wellness? And so we've had many different opportunities to go to the public via the webinars and the different sessions we had last year. We had our Little Bite ideas. We had our Little Gift ideas where we focus on small businesses. And so as we were thinking about what we're going to do for the new year, one of the things that I've always wanted to do was a conference. And so I had quite a bit of discussion with my team, and we decided that we would have a conference that focuses on financial wellness. How can you be better at managing your finances? How can you change some of the mindsets that we've had growing up about money? But we have always been a community e-learning partner. And so in everything we do, we try to make it accessible to all. And so we decided, in addition to the conference, we will have a FIN FêTE. So it's really two conferences in one. And so while the Life Conference is a paid event, the FIN FêTE is free. And so the FIN FêTE, it's still going to be information on finances, but we're looking more of a lifestyle, what type of lifestyle changes you can make. And we are very big on the wellness wheel. We believe that in as much as we want people to be financially well, we recognize that in order to be financially well, you really have to be well in all areas of your life, whether it's spiritual, intellectual, physical, social, environmental. And so what we're going to do in the FIN FêTE is have sessions that focus on each of the segments of the wheel, but in a lighter way and in a fun way, because we're all about fun.
Right. You referred to the wheel a few times.
Yes.
For listeners who may not be familiar with what the wheel is, could you elaborate? And then you'll introduce. I'm going to invite you to introduce our special guest with that very unique name.
Okay, so we have a wheel. So imagine a wheel. A wheel needs to be every part of the wheel, but it's circular, so that means everything must be in balance. If one area of the wheel is not in balance, for those of you who drive, you know what's going to happen.
Speed wobble.
Exactly. And so we have what we call our financial wellness wheel, and if you go on our website, you'll see it. And what it is, we have segmented it into 7 sections, and each section is a different area of focus. So the wheel consists of financial, spiritual, emotional, intellectual, physical, social, and environmental. And so all of these aspects of our lives need to be in balance.
All right. You think we're getting better at managing that balance as time goes by? Tell you what, we'll answer that question later on in the conversation, and perhaps this will be answered also in the upcoming conference. Yes. But I'm inviting you now to tell us a little bit about Dyalekt, and then of course we will ask him to unmute and speak for himself.
So Dyalekt is one of the persons behind their company, which is called Pockets Change, and they are located in the U.S. Dyalekt has Caribbean heritage, and he'll speak a bit more about that. But what they do, they try to create spaces for intergenerational conversations where they speak with students and children and young people about money and money management. And I would dare say most of us let me not put you in my category, but in my age group, probably would have benefited if we had more talks at school as a child about money management. And so what they've done, they have created a really unique way. He is a musician, he's an artist, and so they hip hop, and so they combine music with teaching about finance. And so Dyalekt and Pockets Change, they will be a part of our live conference in FIN FêTE, and it's going to be exciting. So I want the young people, no, I'm not talking about money now, the young people, I would like you to come to the FIN FêTE because it's free, and you're going to learn a lot.
You're going to learn a lot. Good morning, Dyalekt.
Good morning. Peace. Thank you so much for allowing me to come and jam with y'all.
Well, we're delighted to have you. I don't know if there's anything that you'd like to add to what the CEO of Samuel Fields Consulting did in terms of an introduction to you, but tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you're looking forward to most with the upcoming conference and FIN FêTE.
Yeah, sure, no problem. I'm really looking forward to the FIN FêTE. It's going to be one of the first times I get to reach back out to the Caribbean since I've taken this track. Like they've been saying, I have been a hip hop MC and an educator for a long time, going on 20 years now. I've been doing this as she talks about using hip hop and music with kids. It's a little bit deeper than that with Pocket Change, and what we do is that I'm a hip hop educator, and that is my pedagogy. I'm the director of pedagogy at Pockets Change, and what that means is it's not just that we use music, it's that we use the ideas that created hip hop that are the way that we teach kids. So in hip hop, we have all those different elements. There's the rapping, the DJing, the graffiti, the beatboxing, all these different styles, these forms of expression. Well, these forms of expression are also the ways that we learn. So when we work with kids, we hip hop with them to get them to understand what styles work best for them so we can meet them where they're at. It's not even necessarily because hip hop or music or anything is a cool thing. It's because this is how our brains work. As you'll be able to see from talking to me, I'm an MC. Master of ceremony, maker of change, mover of crowds, all of those things that you would like to use. I use words. I love words. I take them, break them apart, mess with them. I'm known as Dyalekt because I exist in the boundaries between where language sits. As Mika was saying, I have a Caribbean heritage. I grew up in St. Croix, which is funny because I actually don't have island heritage. I moved there when I was a kid because my mother married someone from the island, but the accent that they have in St. Croix is not too dissimilar from the Geechee accent of my ancestors. So, one of the things that's always been important to me is to let folks know globally, but also definitely in the African diaspora, how similar we are and how your struggle and my struggle, they compare to each other. And if you can understand that we ain't too different, then the ways that I can succeed are ways that you can succeed, and we can learn from each other. The great thing about hip hop, more so than the music, more so than the fame and money, the things you've seen, is the thing called the cypher. You ever seen a hip hop cypher where rappers or dancers just stand in a circle making art together? It's this beautiful thing that you'll see where it's not a concert, it's not a performance, it's more similar to like a church communion or even a fish fry for a local politician. It's where people come together and share. And it's not about, oh, you need to listen to my rap because I'm a great person. It's, you need to listen to my rap because I need to inspire you, so then you can say a rap, so that you can say a rap, so that together, collectively, we create something great. And that's the vibe that we bring with our students when it comes to learning finance. There's a thing about learning that it works in other areas, and people think that it can't work when it comes to learning about, I guess, what are considered boring things like finance. When you're in sports, you use repetition, you use your goal setting, and you use your team to create something. Even in a competitive setting, you know that you must collaborate together. In the arts, we have similar situations. When you're in a band, the bass player needs to listen to the drummer, needs to listen to the keyboard player, so that create something great together collectively. And that's one of the main impetuses of why we use hip hop to work with young people. And mind you, we don't just work with young people. As we go saying, we are intergenerational. We work with teachers, we work with parents, because when it comes to this money thing, none of us were taught this. Before I joined Pockets Change, the founders, Andrea Ferrero and Pamela Capalad, they wrote a 400-page curriculum about personal finance that they brought to the schools around the United States. And schools uniformly said this: I love it. This is beautiful. I wish I learned it. I don't know how to teach it. That's why we connected. I had some hip hop based curricula that made things easier and more relatable to students. And then we started teaching teachers as well, because the teachers needed to know it. And then we started teaching the parents as well, because the parents were like, we didn't get this when we were kids. And one of the most important things that we want folks to understand is when it comes to money, you're not wrong, you're not stupid, and you're not alone. These are the things that predators want you to feel. The people who want to take money out of your pocket, they tell you that you're wrong, they tell you that you're stupid, and they tell you that you're the only one making these mistakes. And we want to make sure that folks know collectively we can make change together. So that's a little bit of I guess I talked a little bit about me, and then I went into the things that we do. But that's kind of how my vibe is.
Clearly, made my life easy as an interviewer, so I'm not complaining at all. What? Let me ask you, Dyalekt. What do you find to be the most common challenge or question on the minds of children as it relates to money? Question, yeah. That's my question to you, from your experience.
Yeah, it's funny that you say the challenge and question, because they're not always the same thing.
Correct.
And oftentimes we listen to the questions to find the challenges. So students want to know oftentimes how they can level up, how they can change their financial state. If they are poor, they want to become middle class. If they're middle class, they want to become rich. They want to know how to get to the next place. And a lot of times the questions they ask deal with things like investing, things that are seen as level ups, when they're not necessarily. A kid will tell me, I have no money in the bank. I'm trying to get to school, but I need to get money, so I need to start investing. And the thing about that is, before we begin worrying about investing, we must understand how to save. If we don't save money, we can't invest money. If you have nothing in the bank, that's the most painful advice I have to give to young people, and grown people too, because grown people be asking the same thing. It's like, hey, I want to start investing because I need to make my money work for me. And the thing is, at least in the United States, I'm not sure of the stats in Antigua, but Americans can handle up to a $400 emergency without having to dip into savings or going into debt. So if you don't have at least that kind of money in savings, you can't handle the typical things that come in life. So before we are able to set ourselves up for our money working for us, we need to make sure that our money can protect us. So that's one of the big things that kids are worried about, but they're worried about level up, but the underlying issue is protection.
Right. Madam CEO, you find that the experience is similar here in Antigua, Barbuda?
To a certain extent. What I see is they want, just as Dyalekt said, they want to get to the next level. So they want to know, how can I, in their words, get rich quick? And I think because everything around them is kind of instant, they're thinking that getting rich is going to be a quick thing.
Right.
But what I try to tell persons, and he's right, not just children, adults as well, it's a process. And he's so right, it starts with savings. Yeah. And so once you can start saving and making it a habit, then you can go to the next step in investing.
Right. Are there any cultural elements to this discussion? Because like you said, and Dyalekt made the point, that oftentimes the parents don't quite get it, never mind the children. So there's that barrier. Are there cultural aspects to that situation?
Oh, absolutely. And what our conference, we're focusing on lifestyle and, mindset and lifestyle changes. And we recognize that that's really where it starts. It's on mindset. Lots of times we do things without even thinking. And when you ask, they'll say, well, that's what my mother did it. That's how my father did it. And we continue to do the things that may have served our parents well, but they don't necessarily serve us well. And so at the conference, we are going to be exploring, one of the topics is, whose dreams are you chasing? Are you really living the life that you want to live, or is this the life that you think your parents want you to live?
Right.
And we're going to explore things like that, going into your mindset, because if we can get a mindset change, then we'll be definitely on the path to financial wellness.
Well, let's flesh that out a little more, some of the highlights of this upcoming conference, because you want the listeners to get a sense of what they're going to get once they register and participate in this event, what they're going to get out of it. So you've just highlighted one of the topics that are going to be highlighted. Speak to us about some of the others and the highlights of the conference overall.
Okay. So as I said, it's going to be 2 conferences in one.
Okay.
So the Life Conference, which is where we're going to have the bulk of the heavy hitting,
Right.
I would call it. We start off with Matt Gardner, who is Antiguan, and you did mention him. He's the one who will do Whose Dreams Are You Chasing? Then I will do a presentation on 5 money musts for financial resilience and coping with the unexpected. So that's going to dig a little deeper into what are the things you must know and do with money.
Okay.
We're then going to have a session on the game of life. It's about mindset, not income. This is going to be more of an interactive, to a certain extent, application of the game of life. So we're going to be giving persons scenarios and saying, how would you deal with these scenarios? And you know how life is. Life brings you ups and downs. And so this is going to be an interactive session where you will learn a bit more about budgeting and the like. We then will have, we'll also be having a session on blockchain 101, Money Reimagined.
Okay.
This is going to be by Professor Monica Singer. She is from South Africa, a chartered accountant, and very, very passionate about Bitcoin, blockchain, and we know those are buzzwords we hear, and I don't think many people fully understand it. And for accountants, one of the questions that we will have to answer very soon is, how do we record these things on our balance sheet? And she's going to be speaking about things like
Especially when the value fluctuates so wildly.
Especially when the value fluctuates.
Yeah. That's a different conversation. So go ahead.
We'll also have Dr. Roger Firestein. He is a professor at the State University of New York and very big on creatives and doing things creatively. He is going to speak about creating an abundant future, connecting your vision to your future financial self. So it's a little bit about vision boarding and making sure you have your goals and what do you need to do to stick to your goals. And so in a nutshell, we have other little things within, I need to speak about our waistlines and wallets. So we're going to have a healthy cooking demonstration. Again, we try to ensure that we are not just looking solidly at finance, but we look at the other things that are affected
The wheel
by it.
and the balance,
Absolutely.
the health, lifestyle.
And so we have a chef. He's from Tradewinds Hotel.
Okay.
His name is David Alicock. He will be, and he's a great chef if you've been to Tradewinds. He will be doing an actual cooking demonstration to show you how you can eat healthy on a budget.
Okay.
So I know lots of people say being
They're incompatible.
healthy and all of that, exactly.
Yeah.
But there are ways. There are ways. So he's going to speak about that.
Okay.
We also going to have Stacey Russell. She will have a short session on the image currency, tips on professional grooming. So we want to be professional. We need to know, how do we step out there? So that, in a nutshell, is the Life Conference. Then we get to the FIN FêTE, which is where
Which is the
when
fun
we kind
part.
of let our hair down a bit. And we're going to have, you know what? Before I go there, I need to go all the way back to the beginning, because we're going to have Dyalekt and his group.
Yeah.
They're going to start off the session with a morning vibe. So they're going to get us in the mood, and they're going to be speaking about a money mantra. So those of you who are interested in coming, start thinking about your money mantra, because you will be asked about it.
A money mantra, what's
Money
that?
mantra. What is it you say to yourself? Money comes to me. I love money. Money is not my master. Whatever your mantra is. And
Money rules everything around me.
If that's your mantra.
$100 bill, y'all. I think that's a hip hop. That's a hip hop song, right? Dialect.
You know, that's funny. It's funny that you bring that up. It's cash rules everything around me.
That's
Free,
right.
get the money, dollar bills.
That's right.
It's such a funny thing because when you listen to about how money mantras and what we mean by having a money mantra, first of all, it's alliterative. And if y'all understand, alliteration is the opposite of rhyme. It's having the symmetry on the left side, on the where the word starts rather than where the word ends. And when it comes to things like Cream is a song that people think is about how we love money, right? But if you listen to the songs, where the rappers say is that they tried to get money and failed. This is a song about how the financial systems in America have failed them, and they've looked for all these other ways to make money because cash rules, dominates everything around them. We with Pockets Change, we recently made a song with Diedrich Asante Muhammad, who is works at the National Community Reinvestment Coalition. He is a wonderful old school activist, data analyst who uses census data and public available information to make indisputable fact out of the things that we already know about personal finance, about race, about the ways that people are treated. So we made this song called Debt Rules Everything Around Me. Dream about the money. Got a lot of bills, y'all. And what we did is we took 5 different reports about the state of debt in the United States and made a song that detailed what debt was, how we get into it, and how we can mentally get out of it. The thing about these money mantras, this also goes back to the way Pocket Change teaches, is that rhythm is essential to everything. You know this as a radio host. The rhythm of your speech influences the rhythm of the speech of the guests that you bring on, influences the way that people on the street are driving their cars, how they feel today is determined a lot of times, not even necessarily, but just the content of what you say, but the rhythm of the speech that you give will tell them whether they should panic, whether they should feel stressed, whether they should feel happy about what's going on today. When Burning Flames wins the road march, y'all are feeling elated and joyful. And it's not just in the text of what you say, it's in the rhythm of your speech. So we get folks to understand the rhythm of their speech, get one with that. Once you understand your rhythm, then you can walk in the room, and this is where the MC part of it comes in, and you can change the collective rhythm of the room with your speech, if you can understand it and be in control of that. So this is where this money mantra comes in. You start speaking the things that you want into existence, and by the rhythm of your speech, by that repetition, that's how you build those habits, and that's how you build the rhythm of your speech into the thing that you want.
Wow. You're blowing my mind, my friend. Anyway, Megan, proceed.
So you see why you have to come, right?
Yes, exactly.
So the FIN FêTE, we are going to have a session. Matt Gardner, he'll be back because he has an app. He has developed an app that goes with his book. He has a book that's called The 4 Money Bears, geared towards children. And the app is to encourage them to learn more about finances and making right financial choices. But even though it's for children, it's really a family thing. So he'll be speaking on making financial literacy a family affair, and he'll go into a bit more detail with his app. We have also partnered with ACB. ACB, they're a sponsor, and they're going to be speaking about a small business unit that they have created and they are rolling out. And so they're going to have a presentation on their business unit as well as the loan guarantee program, the ECPCGC. And I'm going to leave it right there because I'm not going to bite my tongue over that. But they will speak more about it. But it's a loan guarantee program that they will explain more about.
Okay.
Then, of course, we have to go to the spiritual because we're spiritual people. And so the topic is faithpreneurship, biblical insights for financial empowerment. And we have some heavy hitters who'll be speaking. We have Kim Sledge. She is one of the sisters from the Sister Sledge. We had gotten some news a few days ago to say that she wasn't going to make it, but then we got news that she can.
Okay.
So she'll be back. She'll be here. Well, when I say here, everything is virtual. She will be one of the speakers. Then there's also the Reverend Dr. Calvin Samuel. He is in the UK. And Reverend Algernon Lewis from the Moravian Church. They will be speaking on faithpreneurship, biblical insights for financial empowerment. We also will be looking at the emotional aspect of it and peace of money, PEACE, piece of money, how finances impact our mental health. And that will be done by Larry Overton. He is a member of a group called Black Empowered Men, and they're in the US, and their focus is mainly on men and men's mental health.
Okay.
And you know that's a big thing.
Yes, it is.
We also will be speaking about art and creativity. How do we link art and creativity towards a better financial health? We're going to have Lisa Peters, Joya Cousins. I hope you guys know Joya. She's an Antiguan, but she's living in Paris. And she is a CPA as well. So she's a finance person as well. And Vaughn Anslin, he is from Nevis, and he's a great artist. So they will be speaking about that. And we also have environmental, how a greener lifestyle can inspire financial well-being. And we will have well-known Colin John Jenkins, who will be speaking, as well as Daryl Jackson, and to be moderated by Ezra Christopher. She works in the Department of Environment. And then we have, of course, we have to have physical. So we are going to be linking up with Ellis Richards from Keep Fit Antigua, and he'll be speaking and demonstrating certain exercises on being physically fit for your financial health. We also will be having networking sessions where the participants will be able to speak with the various presenters and also communicate with each other. So it's going to be rampant.
It sounds mind-blowing, but listeners need to know, what do they need to do to be a part of this?
Absolutely.
That's very important.
Very important.
And then I'll go to Dyalekt to wrap things up, if you can do it in a minute.
So to register, you go to our website, samuelfieldsconsulting.com. All the information is there. You can register. If you have difficulties, you can contact us at info@samuelfieldsconsulting, or you can contact us at 464-0841, and we'll be able to sort you out.
Repeat the number again.
464-0841.
Okay.
I also need to say two quick things before we jump over to Dyalekt. We are also just in the final stages of rolling out an app, which will be the live conference and FIN FêTE app. What this allows you to do, because it's a whole day session, so you will be able to be on the go with this conference. So once you've registered, you will get the information, and well, actually, we will be sending out the information soon, so that, because I think you can actually register as well on the app.
Okay.
And the other thing which might be of great interest to the accountants, the live conference part of it, we will be offering CPD hours, and so we are just in the final stages of finalizing things with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of the Eastern Caribbean, and so you will be able to get hours for this conference. So that's another plus.
All right. Drop a beat of inspiration in the hearts of our listeners as they drive to work or school. Dyalekt.
Drop a little bit of inspiration. You know, a thing that I want to say to folks, when it comes to money, one of the big things that happens all the time is that students and adults come to us and they say, I'm bad at money. And I want y'all to understand that you're not bad at money. There's no such thing as bad at money. What you need to do is understand whatever your relationship is. And it may be uncomfortable, it may be unsure, it may be uncertain, but all that takes is time, energy, and effort. And when you pay attention to your finances, they'll pay attention to you. You will better that relationship with money. But it is not a failure on your part. And you're going to be all right. We're going to ride together.
Amen. Thank you very much, Dyalekt. Megan, half a minute.
One more thing.
Yes?
We are wrapping this whole conference up with a money jam. So Dyalekt is collaborating with some of the local artists, and we are trying to get 2 students from a school, and they will all come together and have a money jam and take it away for the rest of the night.
Looking forward to it. I want to thank you very much, Megan Samuel Fields.
Big tunes and fun.
Big tunes and fun.
All right.
Dyalekt, thank you so much. No good deed goes unpunished. You know, you need to come back on this program again. So I'm going to establish some connections. So thank you very much for joining us.
Please do so. I didn't even get to rap for y'all. The next
Well,
time
that's what I was hoping you would have done. I thought you were going to leave us with a rap.
Something.
Anyway, something to tease our listeners. Real quick. Half a minute. Quick. Can you?
Okay. Credit was started by BS and rumors. Boomers build up the Zoomers. They make us authorized users. We're socialized to ostracize these maneuvers because it's tough to fight for the future and keep your eye on abusers. That's poor tax and more facts. The war on black banks from Freeman to Dodd-Frank. We're more than half tanked. We give thanks and praise to the shanks from snakes. Got GoFundMe and Reddit when people need to be saved.
Right.
Look who gets to choose who's too big to fail. They best friends with the ones who choose to go to jail.
Aha.
All right.
Thank you very much. Dyalekt, all the best. Megan Samuel Fields, CEO of Samuel Fields Consulting, a successful conference.